What makes you a success? Is it the days, weeks, and months you spend hunting? Is it your optimal decision-making? Maybe it's the talent, skill, or that surgical precision. Or maybe you're just a damn good prospector. New in Star Citizen 410 Live, we have brand new craftable ore pods and boxes earned through Battaglia's story missions. There are 2 new ore pods, one for the Golem and one for the Mole and Prospector. The Golem boxes are 20 SCU each, and the new ore pods are 15 SCU each. This means 40 SCU total storage on the Golem, 60 SCU total on the Prospector, and 120 SCU on the Mole. These are currently craftable with iron, but it has to be iron above 800 in quality. Aside from that, also earnable through Battaglia's story missions are the 3 new mining modules. The first module is an active module called the Clear Cut. It lasts 30 seconds a shot and has 6 shots in total. It grows the green zone by 30% and increases the power by 15%. The second module is called the Deluge. It is a passive module that reduces the rock's resistance by 15% and increases the power by 15%. Finally, the third module is called the Overrun and is also a passive module that lowers the resistance of the rock by 25% and increases the power by 2%. Both of those passive modules are stackable, whereas the active module is not and will interrupt the other active modules, except for the Surge, of course. I think the Deluge and Overrun will be great on a Golem. These will really expand what is possible with multi-crew mining situations as well. So far, these appear to be only earned and craftable and can't be bought in the stores, just like the ore pods. Once again, they require above 800 quality minerals to craft. Another pretty substantial change this patch is the redesign of how much quantum fuel is consumed and the stats on these quantum drives. As you may have noticed, we have been paying more when filling up than before for hydrogen and for quantum fuel. Now for the recent change to this patch, you can see from the images on the screen, this change has really nerfed the speed at which the military drives travel, all while bumping up some of our old favorites to go further distances and at faster speeds. Overall, the change looks good to me, but I don't know what the hell they were planning with these military drives. Looks like I'm going back to the Chimera and the Atlas. I wanted to let you guys know about this little Golem change that may make it into 410 Live. It looks like the Golem is still not bespoke, which means we can still put on a Hofstede or a Helix. It has been many updates since this has happened, so there's a distinct possibility we can see a Golem with a crafted Hof or a crafted Helix as a reality in the next live update. Anyways, just wanted to add a little Golem seasoning to this video. Let the Prospector guide begin. She says she wanted to feel my Quantanium. I said, listen lady, you can look, but if you touch it, you pay like the rest. Many of you out there prefer the Prospector over any other mining ship. I keep on hearing about it. Because of this, I thought it was time I parked my Mole and show you how I do things. In this video today, we will go over the state of the Prospector as of Star Citizen 410. The pros and cons of choosing the Prospector, my preferred loadouts, the future of the Prospector, and all you need to know and do to be highly profitable. Now let's move. When it comes to your loadouts, we start with lasers. For me, there's 2 smart choices, the Hofstede and the Helix. This decision you make determines the maximum size of rocks you will break. Now I'm out here in Stanton. You see, the Hofstede is easy. It makes things easy, but with it, you are limited by size. The Helix can break a larger majority of rocks, but with the trade-off being it takes more skill and more knowledge. Your loadout begins at the station. Before you choose a laser, you need to think about what you are going to be hunting and prepare for it. That's the name of the game, mining in Star Citizen now. The real question you should ask yourself with mining, what are you okay with leaving behind when you are out there mining out in the black? So the choice is simple. Make life easier and accept that there will be specific minerals you will have to pass up more often, or use the more difficult laser, but have a lot more options for the rocks you can break and what you can mine. You know, a clever miner brings with them what they think they will need. A smart miner brings even more. Because of this, I'm not only loading up the backpack with tools, but I'm also bringing along with me a 1/8 SCU box to stash in the Prospector. Now I recommend you bring with you the following modules. Riger C3, a Torrent 3 module, 2 Focus 3 modules, a handful of Surge modules, a few Stampede modules, and filter modules. Just bring the filter modules if you don't mind the extra work and if you want a little less inert. As for gadgets, we bring a couple Sabir gadgets, a Bormax gadget, and a Wave Shift gadget. With all of those tools, you will be prepared for every issue thrown your way. For the gadgets, the Bormax gadget is for crazy instability. The Sabir gadget is for crazy resistance. The Wave Shift is to make a needle-thin green zone window bigger. For the modules, the Surge is for when you need to push as much power as possible through the rock. The Stampede for a nice consistent power increase that also lowers instability. The Riger C3 for comfortable and passive power gain. The Torrent 3 modules for making quick work of the sub-breaks by speeding up the green zone charge time. Focus 3 modules for when you need to maximize your green zone window when you already have enough power. Finally, filter modules for when you're trying to optimize how much inert you intake. Definitely not a necessity. Now a quick crash course on the gadgets I mentioned, real simple like. The Sabir cuts resistance in half and grows the green zone but adds instability. The Bormax cuts 70% of instability but adds 10% resistance to the rock. Wave Shift doubles the green zone size and also lowers instability. See, simple, you get it. Now if you go the route of the Hofstede, you'll need half of the expensive passive modules I listed above. This is because the Hofstede has half the module slots. I'm just going to run some numbers for you so you can get a better picture here of the reality with a stock Hofstede. The Hofstede has a big green zone and lowers the rock's resistance, but isn't the strongest laser out there and only has one module slot. Now let's go over some loadouts. We'll start by building for the easiest to mine minerals in the game. With a Riger C3 on a stock Hofstede, for the minerals without much resistance, you are looking at breaking rocks around 17k in mass. With the Surge, you are looking at about 22,000 mass break size for the easier minerals. Now for more moderate minerals such as Bexelite, Terranite, Gold, Aslerite, Agricium, and Stellaron, with a Riger C3, your max break size is going to sit around 12,500 without a gadget and 15,000 with a Sabir gadget on the rock. Now with the Surge module, around 15,000 mass without a gadget and 19,000 mass with the Sabir gadget on the rock. On to the hardest rocks in the game, the Savriliums, the Quantaniums, and Lindiniums. With the Riger C3, your max break size is going to be around 8,000 mass. That's without a Sabir on the rock. 13,500 mass with the Sabir gadget on the rock. With a Surge module, your max break size is looking at around 12,000 mass without the Sabir and 17,000 mass with the Sabir on the rock. Now considering most of these 3 listed rocks are all very dense, they have a high mass to SCU ratio, making these rocks generally appear with a much larger mass. It is not uncommon to find Quantanium, Lindinium, and Savrilium, and even Tungsten at above 50,000 mass. But as of recent updates, it is getting more and more common to find these rocks between the 20 and 40,000 range. Now all of this information and data tells you that depending on what you are mining for, you're going to have it in your head that with the stock Hofstede, no matter what happens, you'll be breaking rocks under that 20k mass limit. For some of you out there, that will be perfectly fine and acceptable. No big deal. It just means that for Quantanium, Lindinium, and Sabrilium, you will have to get lucky to find a rock that's in your range. Now let's talk about the Helix. The Helix is the strongest size 1 laser out. It has 2 module slots, but its major flaw is the small green zone window. This means your main struggle is dealing with the instability and minerals that shrink the green zone already. Now with the Helix, since we have 2 module slots, we have more options. So I'm just going to go over some of the loadouts I usually run with it. Let's run the numbers. Let's start with the easiest rocks in the game. With a Riker C3 and a Focus 3 module on the Helix laser, we can break around 23,000 mass rocks. With a Riker C3 and a Stampede module, you can break around 31,000 mass common rocks. Finally, with 2 Surge modules, we can break around 44,000 mass rocks. Keep in mind, these are the easiest rocks. What about the rocks that have some resistance, huh? Let's use the same loadouts before, but on some of the mid-tier minerals. By the way, if you want to run the numbers yourself, feel free to use the Elguapoe's war chest. Link down in the description. So for these moderate rocks, with a Riker C3 and a Focus 3 on that Helix, we will break rocks around 17,000 mass without a severe gadget and 22,000 mass with the severe on the rock. With a Riker C3 and a Stampede, 24,000 without a gadget and 30,000 with a severe gadget. With a Surge and a Stampede, you're looking at around 31,000 mass without a severe and 37,000 with the severe. Finally, we put on 2 Surge modules, and that can get you around 36,000 without a gadget and around 42,000 with the severe gadget placed on the rock. You can already see the power that the Helix can provide, not only because of its higher base power, but because of that second module slot. Finally, let's go over the toughest rocks in the game. For the rocks that regularly have 70 to 88% resistance, we are going to just have to assume you'll be placing a severe on the rock for these numbers. But of course, this is a decision you will have to make with the Helix if the rock is actually on the smaller side. In that scenario, you have to ask yourself if placing a Bormax or a Wave Shift could be the more optimal solution to that rock. Now with a Riker C3 and a Focus 3, we are looking at breaking rocks around 18,000 in mass, and with 2 Riker C3s, 24,000 in mass. With a Riker C3 and a Stampede, 26,000 in mass, and with the Surge and a Stampede module, we are looking at around 33 to 35,000 in mass. And finally, we put on 2 Surge modules, which is the peak power you can pass through the Helix laser, and that will break around 37 to 40,000 mass rocks. So to really sum everything up, for the hardest rocks in the game, you will be mass locked to under about 18,000 mass with the Hofstede and 40,000 mass with the Helix. But remember, that isn't all you need to take into consideration. Like I said, mining with the Hofstede is easier. The Hof also has more optimal distance, making it also a little bit safer and comfortable, whereas the Helix requires you to be close, meaning you will do more damage to your ship over time as well from all the breaks that you do. For some, that can be a problem. Now with all of that out of the way, it is an easy decision for me personally, since I like to be able to mine most of what I find. Helix is and always has been the obvious choice. I prefer the flexibility of being able to jump anywhere and get the rocks I want. Although I am not blind to the fact that I am the professional here, 25-time Big Rock Breaker Man of the Year, 3-time Miner of the Century by Mine Magazine. I know some people are okay with losing or taking things easy. Because of that, if you were to bring with you the Hofstede, I think you would be smart to bring all you can to try to increase your power for when you need to push that laser to its limits, and use active modules as much as possible. Remember, everything is evolving. It is important that you get nice and comfortable being uncomfortable breaking rocks, pushing your own limits, so that when you do end up finding those 900 plus quality rocks that you so desperately need, you are a success, no matter what you run with. Okay, fine, I'll get off my soapbox. Let's go over actually mining with the Prospector. Unlike mining in the mole, my preferred mining vessel, until my beloved Arastra finally arrives, you have the ability to mine and fly, all from the comfort of your pilot seat. Now, that optimal power line means you are giving the rock 100% of your laser's potential power. That max line, after all the red, means 0% power. That is controlled by your distance to the rock. Optimal equals full power, far away means no power. You get it? So let me teach you a thing or two. The name of the game with mining is giving the rock the perfect amount of power, and then just a touch more. Why is this? Well, because of instability. The more instability the rock has, the more wild the damn thing will get when you give it just a little too much power. And the more instability the rock has, the more it will freak out on you for even giving it 1 or 2% more. Understanding this will make mining easier for you. Since you are in a prospector, you have been cursed by mass size, but blessed by the gift of control. Being in a golem or a prospector means we have 2 different ways to fine-tune the amount of power to give the rock. This can make the smallest rocks easy to break or difficult, mid-sized rocks easier to control. Doesn't matter if you have a Helix or a Hofstede on. Power works the same. With skill and practice, you can easily learn to control that. If you have a small rock and way too much power, you can pull your ship back to way past the optimal line towards the max distance line to severely neuter that power. That makes the minimum power comparison between the Helix and the Hofstede really null and void in the Prospector. Hold on now. That doesn't change the fact that let's say you were going to mine rhyolite, that you would not have a much better time using the Hofstede than if you were to use the Helix. Rhyolite, for instance, is the perfect small rock that the Hofstede beats every other laser at every time. But can you do it with a Helix? Absolutely. People always ask me where I'm at, or where I go for mining. When it comes to mining in the current meta for Star Citizen, you have a few different options. Previously, it was all about which place had the most quantanium, so you could just farm up as much credits to blow at your favorite ship shop or lot lizard in Loreville. Well, times haven't changed all that much, but with the addition of hundreds of new awesome crafted goods, this onion has more layers. Because of this, when people ask me what they should mine, where they should be, I usually have to play 21 questions. What's your goal? Do you want to mine to make money as fast as possible? Do you want to deal with people, or just the jabronis at the TDD? How risk averse are ya? Where are you stationed out of? And what ship are you using? It gets tiring, so I'll just speak for myself. Some days I go out hunting specifically for high quality minerals for my crafts. Some days I go out hunting for rocks I know I can find that will sell to the shops and TDDs at any quality and make me quick money. Other times I'm coasting through specific asteroid belts and asteroid fields, looking for the rocks I know can punch a big ticket for me if I trade them on UEX. I usually tell people, if you want money fast in a prospector, you can literally strap on a Hofstede. Bring with you what I mentioned before in the loadout section. Go to any RAB or RMB in Pyro and fill up as fast as possible with rhyolite and Stellaron. The stuff is plentiful out there and can make you fast money. You sell the rhyolite raw at the refinery, refine the Stellaron, go bring the Stellaron to Nick's Gateway in Pyro. Once you have a good amount of SCU refined up, boom, sell it there. Ironically, Pyro is probably the easiest guarantee to make fast money using a smaller ship like the Prospector, compared to being in Nick's or Stanton. Now, if I were to be mining to sell to players, obviously we're looking for minerals at 850 or above in quality. This means RNG and persistence will dictate our profits, but there's a much higher ceiling to those profits if you do find what you are looking for. I would be dipping my little toe in the water over there on UEX before deciding the priority of mineral I want to hunt. Going to UEX Marketplace and then going to the commodities category can give you an idea on what is selling for top dollar. Then all you gotta do is pop open the old war chest app or whatever you use and look for the locations with the highest density of those rocks. Honestly, the best way to build your own war chest of high quality minerals though is to just troll around and scan everything at whatever location you are in. You are bound to hit pay dirt that way. Now let's get into more advanced details here with mining. With the addition of crafted lasers in Star Citizen, you have a lot more potential with mining in the smaller mining ships like the Prospector or the Golem. Crafted lasers carry up to 40% bonus to base laser power. So think of that when you look back at those numbers I mentioned for the previous loadouts and break sizes. Most commonly, I see people running 30 to 35% boosted lasers. That is 35% more breakability tacked on to what I mentioned before. So if you're planning on crafting a laser, that may change your decision on which laser fits you personally better. By the way, at 35%, that would bring your breakability on the hardest rocks in the game up to around 23,000 mass for the Hofstede. Whereas if you had a crafted Helix at 35%, up to around 52,000 mass. I like to put on the Argo mole pods to get 48 SCU, and lately, I've been running this little 33% crafted Helix 1 on my Prospector. I call it my mini mole. To make things real simple, aside from everything I mentioned previously, my default loadout I run on my Prospector with a Hofstede is a Ryger C3 on the laser, and with a Helix 1, a Ryger C3 and a Stampede. But I always prefer the Helix over the Hofstede. Whenever something bigger or smaller comes along, I just get out and adjust. Depending on where I'm located, I change what I use. Depend on what I'm looking for, I change what I use. Also, do not forget while you're out there hunting for quality, bring an orbit attachment for that multi-tool. Scanning for high quality FPS and ground vehicle deposits is easy enough with the Prospector. Never know what you will find out there. Now I hope this helps some of you out. And remember, if you see me out there in the black, pop a flare for me.